Okay, welcome along, everybody. Thanks for joining. Today, we're going to be doing a brief partner spotlight with a new addition to the PeopleVox ecosystem. So I'd like to thank Simon from fusefabric for joining me today. Simon, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, all well, very well indeed. Just to kick things off, it'd be great to hear from you a little bit about yourself and fusefabric as a business. What are you guys into at the moment?
Yeah, so fusefabric is a full-service Shopify integration agency, should we say. Our backgrounds are very much from a CIO, CTO perspective. We have a huge breadth of experience in e-commerce, and that really puts us on the front foot to be able to understand e-commerce customers and all the challenges that come with operating an e-commerce platform and the associated operations and also systems that go with it.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, some of the more eagle-eyed audience members might have already seen some information about a launch or a little press release perhaps in the last few weeks. But specifically today, I wanted to talk about your new Shopify app. It's a brand new thing that we've been working on. So WMS Connect, what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so WMS Connect is an approved Shopify app in that it is available now on the Shopify App Store for Shopify customers to install in their store. And essentially, we created it from the need from either the customer's perspective of wanting a faster and quite frankly a cheaper solution of integrating their Shopify store with the WMS provider, or providers such as yourselves wanting to offer a really quick but very complex scenario, integration between your system and Shopify.
Yeah, and in terms of the use cases, are there any sort of specific features that you created this app in mind, or perhaps any types of businesses you think could specifically benefit from having a look at WMS Connect?
Yeah, so I think it's just a few high level features. Obviously, this provides integration, one-click integration as such. You go to the App Store, you install it on your Shopify store, and then the integration is in your control. You don't need to go and find a separate third-party integration provider and go and get an agreement with them and engage in a project and all the overhead that comes with that. It's instant integration once you've installed the app on your Shopify store. Behind the app, when you install it, you get dedicated cloud-based infrastructure, so you don't suffer from any noisy neighbor. It's not a multi-tenanted platform. The infrastructure that supports the integration is dedicated to you. Obviously, being in a cloud environment, it's auto scaling, it's extremely secure, and we think it covers most use cases, but constantly developing out new features as well, where asked to, in addition to that. So really, I think the benefits are instant time to market. You can install it straight on your store and get up and running. There's no implementation fees from our perspective to implement the integration. It's all within your control, cost effective, and ultimately we've developed it in partnership with yourselves, Descartes PeopleVox, which is great. So that we know the different the use cases. We know where the data should go. We know how the system should operate, and worked on it together.
Okay, and then in terms of specific integration points or the type of data you're mapping across, is there some key areas you wanted to highlight there?
Yeah, so when you install it on your Shopify App Store, you're not limited by functionality. To be clear, you're going the commercial model scales with your volumes, so you get all the features out the box from day one. So those key features, those key integrations are product. So we synchronize product from your Shopify store to your PeopleVox system. Stock, we take stock updates from PeopleVox and we update your Shopify store. We send orders from your Shopify store to PeopleVox system. We can do things like removing gift cards. We support the full sort of gift card end-to-end workflow. We can remove specific SKUs. If you have service SKUs that you've added to orders because it's to support your Shopify store, then we can remove those and they don't interfere in the warehouse. So we've got a lot of integration capabilities or adjusting the orders into PeopleVox. On dispatches, we obviously listen to what's going on in the warehouse and we update Shopify accordingly with all the dispatch events and information. We can handle multi-shipment scenarios. We can fulfill gift cards. We can support, this is really key, we can support both payment methods in Shopify. We can support capture payment on checkout, which is the default payment option in Shopify, but we can also support capture at fulfillment. So depending on how the customer store's set up in terms of their payment configuration, we can support both scenarios. So we support all those scenarios, so the payment scenarios, the multi-shipments, the gift cards. We also support UATF, so unable to fulfill journeys as well, where that's relevant. We can support, so we've got some really complex fulfillment scenarios to support. We can allow you to manage all your sort of carrier mapping, so where you've got shipping set up in Shopify in order to make sure it comes through to PeopleVox correctly with the right carriers. We have all of that. That's all within the app and within the customer's ability to configure. And then finally, we have returns. We support the full returns workflow where we're listening for those returns in the warehouse. We are updating Shopify. We're refunding the customer. You can decide not to refund the customer. If you decide to, you can decide whether you're going to refund shipping. You can. We also support the alternative ways of refunding to gift card first instead of the tender, like the credit card. So the default refund in Shopify is that it returns to the credit card first and then the gift card. It's literally a toggle switch in the app. If the customer wants to change it the other way around, you can refund to the gift card first and then the tender afterwards. So whipping through it quite quickly, but just from that we support the product, the stock, the orders, dispatches, returns, and a huge amount of in-depth functionality within those.
Yeah, and interesting, as you mentioned, in terms of configuration, a lot of this is on-off buttons, toggles, drop-downs, rather than writing code or creating hooks.
Absolutely, everything you've hit the nail on the head. They're all buttons, toggle buttons, or configurations that the customer can go into their app and manipulate on their own. It's all using Shopify styling, so it looks and feels like Shopify. It's very intuitive. And ultimately, we shouldn't be getting involved. That's our aim, is not to get involved. You should be able to do this, between yourselves. But obviously, at the same time, if you've got questions, you need support, then we're here to support the customer.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, there you have it. Simon, thank you very much. If people are interested in having a look, what would be the first port of call for them?
The first port of call would be to look it up on the Shopify App Store under WMS Connect, and they can install it. They have a 14-day free trial. They've got a PeopleVox system. They can connect it and even start using it on their own. So,
brilliant. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Leo.